Let's get it done. Freaky Friday here at Cork Stats, powered by the Mayo Media Net here on YouTube and presented by Jock MKT, the daily app where we make money. That's kind of a cool idea, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing. Download the app. It's free. Use the promo code MMN for Mayo Media Net. They're going to match the first $100 for free, and if it's free, it's for me, and we're going to do you one better. Today is so extra special, and it's a function of the reaction, the interaction, and the response we've gotten from you, the Cork Stats crew over this show. Thank you so much, and I'm going to do it all and give it right back. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the audio pod. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here and keep a very close eye on it because we got something extra special. Tonight, we're going to bring back the OG version of Cork Stats, the lightning fast, game-by-game lineup luck breakdown we've all been waiting for. You know, that's really how I kind of cut my teeth in this industry, doing these very condensed, advanced statistical breakdowns. You get little sniffs of it here. We're going to do every single game right here on YouTube, Mayo Media Net, and also on Twitter at MLB Moving Averages. Check it out there. But if you want to win the contest, you know me, man, I'm just more about giving than getting. It's always the reason for the season around here at the Laghezza crib, man. That's just how I roll, man. Maybe it's because I was so bad when I was younger. I'm trying to make it up. Whoever guesses closest to the, or gets it correct, I guess, the total amount of runs on tonight's full slate. I'm going to go into the MLB shop, or whatever. I'm going to buy you whatever team hat that you want. Brand new fitted MLB team hat, but please keep it regular. Don't pick the Spike Lee special edition $65 one. Standard team hat, but any one that you like. I'm not going to force you to wear my Yankee gear. You know, you send me the address and everything, the size. I'm going to get you hooked up. Just get up in the YouTube comments. You got to be subscribed to the channel. You got to like the video, and then just leave the number and we'll get back to you, man. That's how we're going to do it. And if this keeps up, maybe I'll do it every single week. I just love to give. What we do in here is giving that. It's translating into some money. I know the betting side has been pretty rough, although, hey, man, our straight bettors, again, the parlay failed, but 2 out of 3 is pretty good. Actually, I think it was a push. So even that, yesterday, you know, it's been good. The parlays have been just really rough. There's always been one miss. And again, I kind of stepped on one of my own rakes chasing really bad offenses. There's some offenses that are bad and hitting poorly that we shouldn't look for anything from. We didn't get a little force at Twins game. The bases loaded were multiple times, but that's such a scoring, you know, the total life. That's what that is. Maybe one day if I hit it big, I get that tattooed across my big fat belly like Tupac. Total life, yo. All right, let's get into the 3 pillars of profits. It's daily, DFS, and Jock Market. We're going to get your team stacks, all that stuff. Then over to fantasy, we're going to go through the entire board, what to expect this weekend, and what to look out for NFBC or multiple weekly, you know, setting people out there in formats where there's bi-weekly lineup settings. Let's say we'll go through the whole thing and then onto the parlay. But remember, 6 o'clock sharp. It's already set. You could set the reminder on YouTube right now. Thanks to Maddie Best back there. Without some of the production, men and women back there would be none of this. It would just literally be me yelling at my screen. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. Whatever we get to do here is the foundation. We're going to build off it later on. But you got to support it. You got to get involved. Get up in the comment sections and stuff, and hopefully we can keep it going every Friday night. There's a bit of a void for programming Friday nights through the baseball season. We know it's a full slate. Everyone's home from a week of work, kind of tired. Could be a lot of fun. And the last few minutes, we're going to do a on-screen Jock Market tutorial. I'm going to show you a bit more of the advanced stuff. They've been doing a great job providing the desktop app and function there that I've really enjoyed. That interface is excellent, really fast, and it provides a little bit of an edge. But I'm going to show you a bit more about I want to address some of the questions that I've gotten directly from people. I understand it's a totally new game, and part of it is about being sharp. So you really want to be efficient in your moves. We're going to cover all of that the last few minutes. I have screen sharing ability. It's going to be awesome, you know, the whole thing. Let's dive up into the stack report and do the thing that we came to do. First up, it's the Colorado Rocks against Aaron Sanchez. I cannot believe this guy is still in the major leagues, but while it's going on, let's try and crack that melon wide open. 7.16 ERA, 1.70 whip, a 9.56 OPS year to date. Let me just talk on that just really quick. I like to use OPS as part of my surface, right? People often quote ERA and whip. Now, though those are okay, oftentimes we know they're not linked. We also know ERA is kind of stupid, right? So aside that, any 2 points make a straight line. So it's not really validated. OPS, because I find it extremely valuable, right? Bases at a premium, on base at a premium, all are a function of spending pitches as well, really matters. And that third point may further validate or invalidate the line, or maybe perhaps show you that the bad whip is more in line with a bad OPS and a good ERA and things like that. So I like to add OPS into it. 956 OPS is so bad, you're going to end up on a midnight bus. To Tuscaloosa, in general, righties, remember here at the Stack Report, it's not just crossing lefty-righties, righty-lefties. That's not always the case, in particular with a new ball and pitchers complaining about the break on certain pitches. That's really what this comes down to. Pitchers trying to attack certain-handed hitters, either not getting the break they're looking for, getting too much break, compensating, or overcompensating, and being punished. Excuse me. So to that point, Aaron Sanchez is just getting destroyed. Righties have a 1,200 OPS against him year to date. I had to double check that, but it is true. 4 of the home runs from righties. So we're looking at Big King Cron. CJ Cron, got to be near the top of the board. Going to have some stars next to him on the sheet for the home run play. We're going to be looking to pay up for him probably as far up as we go. For me, it's like that $6.50 kind of $7 setting. I had that set yesterday for Soto. It did not pan out, but Josh Bell and a couple other guys that we highlighted were profitable. I don't know if I ended up in the black, but again, it's just funny. I wasn't good, but ended up really right there, and I'm back near my all-time high after this week, running off major profits. And that's really what this game's all about. Jock Market allows you the ability to play near even and then take advantage of big wins. Here's today's feather in the cap really quick. This is a good one, something that kind of goes beyond just betting and stuff into risk ventures in general, trading and the like. Really, so in theory, right, there are 4 possible outcomes, right? Wins and losses, but then each of those could be a big win or a big loss, right? 4. So big win, small loss, big loss. Eliminate the last one, the big loss. Just eliminate that, and because that's in your control, whether or not you want to admit it or not. Very rarely do we end up on regimented losing streaks that destroy us. I'd have to lose for quite literally like months and months without any wins to go to business. I mean, that's the whole point of risk management there, why it's so important. But eliminate the big losses, and you'll find that ability to stay near it, and then because you've kept big wins in there, right? We don't just bank on big winning every day, but they will come. So if you eliminate the big losses and stay in the game when the big wins come, you'll eventually find yourself plateaued and then up and step, and you'll kind of make these staircases up. But really just an idea of what my profit sheet ends up looking like. Let's get back into the stacks. Second one, but again, today, we're just check me back. Remember, 6 p.m., YouTube here, Mayo Media Net. We're giving away free New Era ball cap to whoever can guess the total amount of runs on the slate. There's one game that's not on the slate. The people at Jock Market, really cool. They gave us a 7:05 open, so the first game we're not going to cover at all. I think it's Cincinnati, whatever. We'll deal with that another time, another day, maybe San Francisco, I think. Yeah, San Francisco's involved because Rodon is not on our slate. So 6 o'clock we'll be gearing up to 6:55, covering everything DFS fantasy and betting prop bets. We're going to be doing the absolutely whole thing. If you've never joined me for the game-by-game Cork stats, I really got to suggest it's so much fun. It's like nothing else anywhere. It's baseball covered like football. All right, next up, it's the Boston righties against Baltimore and Kyle Bradish. He's he's another reverse split guy. He's been devastating as a righty against lefties. Sub 450 OPS to lefties on the year, 1,100 OPS to righties, and all 6 home runs. The fastball and the curve have a 715 minimum X slug with a 16% maximum whiff. That's not any good. Give me JD, give me Xander, and Kike Hernandez. Last up, Houston righties against the gun show. Chris Flexen, 46% fly ball on the year, 47% hard hit on the year, 16% barrel on the year equals almost 2 home runs per 900 OPS on the year to righties. The fastball, again, there's that 715 X slug. Curve and a change have a plus 1,000 X slug. Hachi, Machi, Liberace, give me Altuve, give me Siri, and give me Gurriel today. Those Stros going to beat up or something nasty on Chris Flexen, I think. Today, let's get up into the fantasy end. This is like the whirlwind Tasmanian devil style. We only get 5, 6, 7 minutes to cover fantasy, and I really want it to be impactful. I know people are setting lineups. Let's try and get some impactful stuff out there in order. It's the Diamondbacks. They're home versus the Dodgers. They face one lefty in Tyler Anderson, so maybe Pave and Sit Smith sits once. The rest of the matchups are not that bad, so I think you're going to go with all your Diamondbacks. The Atlanta Braves versus Miami. They face one lefty, Trevor Rogers, who struggled. After that is Sandy, who's been very good. Then Laghezza Hernandez, who's been very bad. I think you're going to stomach your Braves there to get at Laghezza Hernandez and perhaps the Trevor Rogers that's been bad, and then into the center part of that Miami bullpen. Baltimore Orioles are at Boston, but it's 4 games, right? That's part of what we're doing here, trying to highlight these things. They're at Boston for 4. It's all righties, but they are facing Whitlock, Eovaldi, and Pivetta. Could be some tough sledding, but, if you're chasing volume, which most of us are, and the opportunities, the Boston bullpen also has a center, meaty part to the center that is not necessarily so great. That sometimes has Whitlock in it, right? So if he's going to start, that's where Baltimore would have to eat. Flip side of that same series is Boston against Baltimore for 4. They face one lefty, that would be Zimmerman, and it's all Sox or go. My boy Bobby Dalbec, who was playing like the last time we were doing this last week, is just not playing. It's actually Frenchie Cordero looking pretty good, and I think you could cue him up because he's going to get 3 games regardless. Next up, it's the Cubs. Only play 2 times. Keep an eye on your Cubs. They only play twice against the White Sox. They're going to be facing Johnny Cueto and Dylan Cease. That's going to be really, really tough. I'm not sure you're trying to start any Cubs at all. Flip side of that same series is the White Sox against the Cubs. It's a bit softer there. They've got Keegan and Wade Miley. We know the White Sox beat up on lefties, but, man, it's really tough to take a plate appearance ding on the weekends when everyone else is set to max, right? It's a little more palatable to lose a game Monday through Thursday where other people are missing games. It's just inevitable. You can't fill every single slot. That's just not how the game is played. But on the weekend, it is. I mean, most people get like 95+% of all at-bats, expected at-bats, I should say, on the weekend. So, got to be careful with the Chicago teams, both of them. Next up, it's the Reds versus San Fran, as I was mentioned before. But it's Rodon, Wood, and Cobb. I put the note, oof, going to be tough sledding for those Reds. The Guardians are at Detroit. No lefties. It's Fado, Erod, and Brisky. Got to get with Cleveland. I know Jimenez has been sitting and struggling, but this is his weekend. He's got to hit. He's playing against righties only, all 3 righties. You can start Jimenez, but it might be the last time. Colorado Rockies are at the Nats, facing Sanchez, Adon, and Josiah Gray. I like Gray, but you got to queue up all the Rockies. In particular, you're looking at Daza and Grichuk, if those guys are kind of on your secondary, lineup lists, let's say in deeper drafted holds or something like that. You got to get those guys in your lineup. Next up, it's the Detroit Tigers versus Cleveland. They're versus Bieber, Tristan, and Plesac. Going to be tough sledding for the Tigers. They've been trash in general. I was talking about this on the Athletic Pod. There's some teams that haven't made the adjustment. That could be a hitting coach thing. Not just I don't just mean just hitting coach. I mean an organizational approach to hitting. Right, a hitting coach is probably like 25 guys plus an R&D department, or it should be. And that's why I worry about some of these pro teams. Maybe they're not on the forefront. Hello, I'm out there if you want some help in the offensive department, Tigers. I bet you I'd give them a shot in the arm. All right, next up, it's the Astros are going to Seattle. They face one lefty, Marco Gonzalez, but it's Flexen, Gilbert, and Marco. The thing I had circled here with the lineups is Chas McCormick and Jose Siri, just like alternating days. There really doesn't even seem to be a rhyme or a reason. There's really no split there. KC Royals are at Minnesota, have Ober, Archer, and Gray. Oof. But it's the same daily lineup, so if you're stuck for PAs, you go with your Royals. Angels versus Toronto, Manoah, Kikuchi, and Barrios. That's one lefty in Kikuchi also. Oof. Oof, that's a tough sledding right there. You're probably starting most of your Angels. The lineup note there is that Walsh, who was playing against lefties, is not playing against lefties anymore. He sat against the last 3. He's not very good. I think for 2 or 3, you would generally want him, but not when it's a good Barrios that we saw last time. And Manoah, I don't mind sitting studs. I really do. I say, especially in deeper leagues where I have options. If I have options on teams that I want, like bad Rockies, I would start bad Rockies over good Angels this week. That's just me. That's how I rock. That's how I do it. I generally like to attack bad pitching. Next up is the Dodgers going to the desert. They're at Arizona. One lefty in Bumgarner, Merrill Kelly, and Zach Davies. Cue up those Dodgers. Rios has played each of the last 5 games. They've all been righty, so he's probably playing at least 2 of 3 this week. And again, if he's on that bubble, you can cue him up. Miami's at Atlanta. They face 2 lefties in Tucker Davidson and Max Fried. I think Davidson will be better this time around. Ian Anderson in the middle. They have a very set lineup, though Jazz has been out the last 2 games and Wendell is hurt. That's part of the reason for the regularity. Going to be tough sledding, I think, for the Marlins as well. Brewers are at St. Louis, facing 1 lefty in Liberatore, sandwiched between Dakota Hudson and Miles Mikolas, I think it is Michaelis. I keep getting confused. Well, that is what it is. Rowdy Tellez and Omar Narvaez have been sitting against lefties, so they might sit in that middle one, though Liberatore was not great the first time. You may see them pinch hitting, so I think they're viable. The big lineup though there is Tyrone Taylor is viable. He's now a locked starter. If you drafted him like I did in drafting olds, I haven't reaped any of the goodness yet, but now going forward, he's your man. Minnesota Twins against KC, facing no lefties, so it's Keller, Singer, and Greinke. I think Singer is going to be really tough on Minnesota, but they've been slumping, man. I was chasing that offense when Buxton is not any good. That offense stinks. Right now, Miranda, who was looking like he was starting to turn around, is just his playing time is too spotty, So I'm sitting Jose Miranda this week where I can. Celestino is playing 6 of his last 7. Keep an eye on him. You got to add him in deeper leagues, playing every day. The Mets are versus Philly, facing 1 lefty. That's Bailey Falter. Not sure what we'll see from him, but they do have Eflin's been good, and Wheeler. The notes there, Smith and JDD. That playing time is just entirely too spotty to back those guys. The Yankees are at Tampa, facing 2 lefties, Spring and Sugar Shane Mack, with Kluber sandwiched in between. You're playing all your Yankees, even though it's going to be tough. You got to sit Gallo against the 2 lefties. Oakland versus Texas, facing 1 lefty in Taylor Hearn, right in the middle of John Gray and Dane Dunning. So Kemp, Seth Brown, and Barrera have all been sitting about half of lefties. So they'll be playing, and they're probably viable this weekend, especially Brown gets a premium lineup spot because they're so bad. But that is something we want to keep an eye on. I did like Barrera. I may be pulling back my recommendations or just rostership in general on Barrera if he's going to continue to sit. I was hoping he'd be playing every day because, again, they stink. Phillies are at the Mets, facing no lefties, Carrasco, Walker, and Bassett, which means you got to start Odubel, Herrera, and hopefully you're not starting Bryson Stott. But if you're choosing over an injury guy, right, he's going to play, which means something, right? Pittsburgh's at San Diego, facing 2 lefties, Manaea, Musgrove, and Gore. Sit all. Your Pirates, the Padres versus Pittsburgh, 1 lefty. That's Quintana, sandwiched in between Brubaker and Roansy Contreras. Pittsburgh's starting to come on, and bookends are going to be very good. Watch out for the Padres' office. Griffin is sitting against most lefties. I have Voit has played 4 of the last 5, but I think I had a bunch of lefties in there as well. Seattle against Houston, facing no lefties, Verlander, Urquidy, and Garcia. Mariners struggling on offense. That will continue this weekend. The Giants are in Cincinnati, which is generally a pretty good thing, and it probably will be for them. This is the kind of thing like you want to get with your Giants over the Angels, facing Ashcroft, Vladgut, and Molly, who I like, but he stinks at home, man. So it's LaStella and Jock, if you got those guys, all your Giants in the lineup this weekend. The Cardinals versus Milwaukee, no lefties, Woodruff, Hauser, and Burns. Woof. The big lineup, though, there is Bader's playing every day without Carlson. He looks really, really good. Tampa Bay Rays are in the Bronx at New York, facing no lefties. Tyon, Cole, and Severino going to be rough go for the Rays as well, though you figure Kiermaier and Choi will play, but I put because, if I'm not starting Choi where I don't have to, I'd rather have almost anybody. That's going to be really tough on him. And then, if the Yankees bring in the lefty, he'll probably get sat. So be careful, not just with number of plate appearances, but the quality. Okay, let's get around third score. This one, Texas is at Oakland, 2 lefties, Irving, Logue, and Caprillion. So you're sitting Nate Lowe and you're sitting Brad Miller. They have not played against lefties, so you can't get that. You don't want them waiting until Sunday to get in at bat. Toronto's at the Angels. They face 1 lefty. They have Silseth, Lorenzen, and then Sandoval at the end. Toronto has struggled on offense. They look at they're starting to come alive, but they're going to have a tough go. Those 3 are very tough. The Angels are good. That we worried about pitching health. They've gotten it. I never had heard of Silseth. Shame on me, and he's really good. So filling in viable starters. Lorenzen's been really good. How long does he last? Another story, but right now they're good. Last but not least, Washington Nationals home against Colorado and 2 lefties, Gomber, Kuhl, and Freeland. So it's Kyber and Yadiel that have each sat 2 of the last 3 versus lefties. It's Lane Thomas playing every day. Yadiel Hernandez, probably a sit for me this weekend. Kyber Reeves, I doubt you have the option. Let's get into the betting board before we get out of here real quick. But again, remember, no worries today. 6 p.m. sharp. We're going to launch the live stream on Twitter. We're going to launch the live stream on Mayo Media Net here on YouTube. All you got to do, press the like button. Pretty easy. Guess the total number of runs. Price is Right rules are in effect. And the winner gets a brand new fitted with the brand new Yankee on. Who but me? Come on, baby. Let's do it. You know, like I said, I don't care about my money like that. It's weird. I got my teeth sunk into a goal. You know, I really want this to be the best, and the interaction we've gotten with people now kind of learning this new style of understanding with ball flight and expected stats, how to use them and not misuse them has been great. All right, let's dive into the board. This one should be pretty easy. It's chalky for me, but that's okay. Good teams win ball games. It's Toronto, it's the Yankees, and Houston to cover them up. Again, straight bettors are profiting every single day, and it may be time for us to do the same. I mean, literally profiting every single day. Go back, we see the receipts. We're hitting 2 of 3, 3 or 4. We haven't been able to get the parlays home. Yesterday, the over was just a miss. We almost had the full game over. I had mentioned that, maybe moving to full games. Again, it just seems like when we zig, it's the other way. Don't beat yourself up. The process is good. We're going to get there. Again, when you're a single away from hitting it over, it's hard to beat yourself up. I'm just not going to do that. So, again, Toronto, New York, and Houston, all those prices pretty viable. We got the Yankees, Taillon over Jeffrey Springs. I just couldn't believe it getting the Yankees at this price. Taillon's been very good, 3% walk rate on the year. Springs has been okay, but I mean, the load is basically limited, and if anyone's going to tank him, it's going to be the Yankees. I just think we're looking for a little bit of regression here. I hope that it's like homers. I mean, the Yankees are good. We're expecting a lot from Springs. I can't believe the Yankees are an underdog. Expect that one to switch. The Yankees are going to be a slight favorite by the time we get to game time. Mark that one up. You'll be able to clip that one on Twitter. Toronto also minus 120. I believe we have like a distinct pitching edge here. Yes, I mentioned Chase Silseth. He's good, but we're talking about 10 major league innings. He does have a 5 FIP. You know, listen, I like him. I do. But he's really struggled against lefties. I know Toronto's not really left-handed, but when you're going to struggle like that with the high accelerated line drive rates and just my expectations for regression against such good hitters, against Alek Manoah, who is like a ridiculous bulldog. Yes, the Angels can hit. It's in Toronto. They've been getting up off the mat. I just think this one is a bit of a misprice there. I think we'll see this minus 120 move to probably minus 140 as we get a little bit closer. Again, I don't think it's a blowout, but I do think Toronto gets there. We're going to dive into the game, really get granular on every single game. So if you're not buying the kind of my, fenciness, and that's part of being so early before lineups, right? A lineup change could absolutely move how this goes. Well, if Trout sitting today, then now, wow, this is a smash, right? Maybe not. Could be the other direction if Vlad, Bo are sitting. Who knows? So, again, that's why I like to parlay at a small risk these early things, because I don't have all the information I'd like before I put legitimate money on it. All right, last up it's Houston. I just think this is the biggest landslide, and that's where it's okay to pay a little bit juice. I got minus 125. I saw minus 120. This one might move in our favor. Who knows if people are buying what Flexing is selling. Verlander, legit like Cy Young candidate right now. I spoke about him on The Athletic. He has been improving the shape of his fastball, the tail of his fastball, velocity, and spin, all at his increased age. He's the best in the game right now because his IQ is just so much higher than everyone else. And the Seattle team has not been good, and Flexen's not doing the thing he does, which is supposed to be ground balls, but we talked about it a little bit before. He's missing. The sink is not happening, and he's been really bad for a sinker pitcher would have a 7% blast rate, 1.9 home runs per 9, a 399 xWOBA, 454 expected WOBA on contact for the season. He's going to get crushed. I think Houston just totally demolishes him. So this one's like Houston run line, Houston stack, Houston team total, right? If I was one of those guys, I generally don't double up bets and stuff like that, but I do understand that there are room for that, and people do that. If you're into kind of fractional betting and stuff, again, there's a million ways to skin this cat without scratching his butthole, as they say, and that will do it. I'm sorry, pack all those together. As usual, you're going to find the odds up over plus 500. So we hit one, and it's profitable for the week, and we can finally put this nightmare behind us. Each of the last 2 weeks, we were not only just, I hate being, it was one game away from hitting. We were just one game away from hitting. We were one game away, and it was tied, and it was in the 9th inning. You know, if it happens twice, you hope to win 2, right? You pray to win 1. Of course, we hit none. And had you hit 2, all of a sudden, this is wildly profitable, and it's the same process. And that just the last little feather to think about, like how one little outcome or bounce or bloop or good piece of defense or bad or good call or bad changes the whole thing. And that's why we don't want to be system hopping, something that's very, very, very important. We're up against it. Thanks, everybody. Rate, review, and subscribe to the audio pod. You know, check us back here. We're going to be back at 6 p.m. I'm going to get right to work right now to bring you the fastest show in MLB anywhere. Absolutely nothing like it. And you're going to get a very easy chance to win yourself a brand new fitted cap. There's some really sick ones out there. Like I said, don't have to be Yankees. The Nationals have the tricolor one. The Baltimore Orioles have the tricolor one. That's sick. Or if you just want the OG, Dodger blue, whatever you want, I got it. Address, size, I'm going to hook you up. Price is Right rules on total score on the slate alone, not the early one, 7:05 p.m. on our slate, closest to the total runs. I'm going to buy you a cap. I'm going to send it to the crib, and that will do it, everybody. Woo! Man, that was an awesome show, right? And an awesome week. Enjoy the weekend, but I'll catch you in a little bit. Remember, when you work this hard, it feels a lot less like luck, and we're about to work a lot harder. Get these tickets across, and we'll do the Jock Market tutorial for everybody. If that's what you're into, make sure you do not miss the last like 10 or 12 minutes. We're going to be in the Jock. We're going to be showing you placing orders using the favorite list and how to circle back to maximize all your limit orders. All right, that'll do it right at the mark. I got to get out of here, everybody. I'll see you in a little bit. Check you later. Catch you on the flip side, yo. Peace.